The first of three stakes races here at Del Mar today is the upcoming second race. This is the Smiling Tiger Stakes, an overnight stakes for 3-year-olds here, 65,000 added. Scratch number 1, Annie's Boy, and the betting is all focused right now on two horses in here. You've got one of those that we'll take a shot of right now is Vertical Threat, number 4. The other is number 3, Ragtime Blues. The bettors are kind of making this a match race right now between those two. The distance here will be 6 furlongs for these 3-year-olds. Blinkers On, number 5, Howbeit, who was also a supplemental nominee to this race. And a distant third choice right now is number 2, Thanks, Mr. Eidson. Again, scratch the 1 out of here. So here is Vertical Threat from the Balta stable. Roberto Figueroa is going to ride this horse back off an emphatic maiden win last out at Los Alamitos. 108 and change, 1 by 6. Got a big buyer. If you're looking at the racing form, it looks like he's on his way here. That was only his second start, and it was his first start on the dirt. Didn't really do a whole lot on the grass first out, but he woke up big time in his second start and showed his ability, and strong enough to make him right there with the other horse in this race in terms of kind of a toss-up in terms of who might be the favorite. Right now, right at 4 to 5 and even money. So this horse certainly was impressive. There's a look at this colt by Tapiture right now. And again, Figueroa was aboard for the maiden win. And number 3, Ragtime Blues, out of the Bob Baffert stable, is right just about 10 feet away from him right now and going over in the shady part of the stall. As we got a good look there at Vertical Threat, who's all dressed up for the occasion. Here's Ragtime Blues and Mike Smith and Bob Baffert teaming up here. Colt by Union Rags was second to Collusion Illusion and the grade 3 Las Barrera last out. That was going 6.5 at Santa Anita, very quick. Has a lot of handiness that first part of the race, rattled off a couple of wins in the spring. Actually broke his maiden at Oaklawn back in April. I've mentioned this before. That meet just gets stronger and stronger. And with everything that was going on in the world this year, they had a premier race meet out there. They just had such tough racing. Found that to be a handicapping angle for all levels. Anything that comes out here that ran and did well at Oaklawn this winter, you got to give them a look. So anyhow, he went on to beat Allowance horses at Santa Anita. And then last time that good second in the grade 3 Las Barrera. So on numbers and all of that, he looks right there pretty close to Vertical Threat. And that's about how the betting is going right now, too. Here's number 5, Howbeit, that supplemental horse I talked about. Blinkers on him here today. Didn't pick up his feet much in the Oceanside Stakes on opening day, so they go back to a main track sprint. And he ran third, beaten about 3 lengths by Ragtime Blues in that same grade 3 Las Barrera. That was a couple of starts back. Abel Cedillo's got the mount here for Doug O'Neill. Big price on him at 15 to 1. I mentioned Thanks, Mr. Eidson, as a distant third choice. The Jeff Bondi trainee did break his maiden here last summer. And he went on, boy, it's funny. We talk about Collusion Illusion a lot. He shows up in everybody's running lines here. Last year in the grade 2 Best Pal, this horse ran quite well, actually. Had the lead at the 8th pole, ran 4th at 9 to 1, went to the shelf. So might have maybe something, coming along there that necessitated time off. It's not unusual with the babies, but came back and had 2 races on the grass. Couple of decent tune-ups, didn't run bad, got beat by the filly She's So Special. We'll talk about her later for the San Clemente, but this colt's got those 2 races probably to get him fit, and now on the main track here. Like I say, had a couple of good races at 2 on this track last year, but is pretty far behind those top 2. Big price right now with Giovanni Franco is going to ride today for Jeff Bondi, and this will be his 3rd start of the year. Was off the track after the Best Pal last year until May of this year when he had a 3rd on the grass. And then came back beaten just a half length in the Desert Code. That was a stakes race much like this for 3-year-olds, except that was at 5.5 on the grass. So he will get back to the main track here today. Here's a look at him right there. Vertical Threat just popped out of his stall, but the other 2 are tucked away here for the moment. And again, this is one of 3 stakes races here today. Coming up later on, we've got the grade 2 San Clemente Stakes with that field of 3-year-old fillies on the grass. Laura's Light probably going to be a mild favorite in that race, but there's a lot of good fillies in there to consider. And then, of course, you have Maximum Security, Higher Power, Mid-Court, amongst others, and the grade 2 San Diego handicap. This race here, our second for now, starts that Place Pick All. Don't forget 11 races here today, so Place Pick All starts here with the second. And we're going to have a pretty chock-full late pick 5 later on, talking about all those stakes races and some other big, deep, full fields here. Certainly some strong betting opportunities throughout today's card. But for now, it's the Smiling Tiger, $65,000 on the purse. Jockeys are up, and they're about to leave us here. 10 minutes to post time. Good luck.
On the track for the second race, the Smiling Tiger Stakes. Scratch number 1, Annie's Boy, and a reminder there's no show wagering in the race. And here's the field. Number 2 is Thanks Mr. Edson, owned by Del Sacco DCS Racing, trained by Jeff Bondi. The rider is Giovanni Franco. Number 3, Ragtime Blues, owned by SF Racing, Starlight Racing, or Madicat Stables and Partners, trained by Bob Baffert and ridden by Mike Smith. Number 4, Vertical Threat, owned by Slam Dunk Racing or MyRacehorse.com, trained by Richard Baltus. And Alberto Figueroa is the rider. And number 5 is How Be It, owned by CTR Stables, trained by Doug O'Neill with Abel Cedillo. There's Exacta, Quinella, Trifecta, Double, Pick 3, Pick 4 wagering. A reminder, no show betting here. Post time in 8 minutes. The horses are approaching the starting gate. The horses have now reached the starting gate. It's post time. They're at the gate for the Smiling Tiger Stakes. Thanks, Mr. Edson, moving in first. Here's Ragtime Blues. Waiting for Vertical Threat and How Be It. They are all in line. They're off in the Smiling Tiger. Ragtime Blues with the best beginning. Vertical Threats away running in second position. And then it's Thanks Mr. Edson and How Be It the trailer. Up the backstretch they go, and Mike Smith and Ragtime Blues will set the pace here. Vertical Threats a length and a half behind. Thanks Mr. Edson is third on the inside, and How Be It is last of this quartet up the backstretch. 4 lengths from top to bottom. And it is Ragtime Blues on top through a 22.18 opening quarter mile. Vertical Threat creeps closer now and moves up right alongside. And now they're stride for stride on the far turn. Thanks, Mr. Edson is sent along, but had no place to go and had to steady in behind the top two. Howbeit is the trailer. Vertical Threat has taken the lead on the outside of Ragtime Blues and is doing it in hand as they come to the top of the stretch. A 45.46 half. They're into the stretch, and Vertical Threat takes off at the 8th pole. Pulling away from Ragtime Blues, thanks Mr. Edson, and How Be It. Vertical Threat and Alberto Figueroa looking good in the Smiling Tiger. Wrapped up under the wire by 5. Ragtime Blue second, and then thanks Mr. Edson. Number 4, Vertical Threat was first. Number 3, Ragtime Blues was second. Number 2, Thanks Mr. Edson was third. And number 5, How Be It was fourth. Hold all tickets until it's official. Final time 1 minute 10.47 seconds. Returning to the Run Happy winner's circle is Vertical Threat, a 3-year-old bay colt by Tapiture out of Viola Blue by Omega Code, owned by Slam Dunk Racing or MyRacehorse.com, trained by Richard Baltus, and ridden by Heriberto Figueroa. Vertical Threat was bred in Kentucky by Albert and Teresa Davis. Race 2, the Smiling Tiger is official, 4-3-2-5. In the third race, scratch number 8, Loudmouth. Number 8 is out of race 3. Three o'clock.